Okay, so thank you for that wonderful introduction. I've been cooking the best part of 8 to 9 years, but that's okay. 2.5 is as good. I had a whole other train of thought, okay, and then after I heard you speaking, ma'am, I think I realized that this talk is about kind of sharing your experiences. So I'm here today to kind of talk about flavors in general, okay? Flavors, the world of flavors, and what I've learned about them, and in essence, what they say about us, all right, as a people, okay, globally, okay? So we'll start closer to home with a very interesting story. So a year ago, we were doing this series documenting lost cuisines across our country, all right? So we were doing this. It was a show, all right, tracing the history of cuisine through various, I would say, groups in society, okay? So for example, the Parsi community, right? So community driven. So we're in Gujarat, right on the ocean. In fact, not very far from where the Parsis made their first landing, all right, on the coast of India. You know where the Parsis? Anyone knows?
St. John.
Who said St. Yes, St. John, all right? So, okay, anyone else? It's down the coast of Gujarat, all right? It's a place called, Udwara is the town which is their kind of sacred town. That's where the Iran Shah is. But to cut to the food part, we're there on this farm. We're tracing back this lost recipe called umbario. So I'm sitting with this gentleman. He's one of the only remaining gentlemen or people who kind of have a record of this particular dish. Okay. So we get this ghara. We take this country chicken. We take some fresh toddy. You know what toddy is? Anybody? Toddy? Toddy? Speak up. Okay, so alright, so exactly, it ferments like alcohol, but in essence it's a tree, alright, you get these little, it looks like a coconut, alright, but a soft kind of membranous kind of a fruit, alright, and the kind of extract of this liquid is drunk all over the coastal parts of our country. In the morning it's nira, okay, it's an incredible thing. In the morning the same liquid is nira, and it's an antioxidant and something that kind of gives you energy through the day. But then by the evening time it's fermented and it forms this most potent kind of, alright, local tari or toddy, alright, okay, right? It gives you a nice kick. You have like a nice glass full or 2 glasses full and you're very happy. So we put this chicken, we put the tari, we put a bunch of herbs from his village, he puts it into this ghara. We take the ghara, we seal it, alright, we turn it upside down, we take 2 baskets full of dry leaves, alright, which he's been drying specifically for this occasion. We pile the ghara with the leaves, we set it on fire, and the whole thing goes up like, in flames, and everyone kind of like jumps back. And then it burns down, and the embers kind of, they die down. And an hour later, we go back to this kind of like pile of ashes, and we take out this ghara, and it's hot, and we pick it up, and we carefully kind of, open the lid, obviously turning it over, and out from this ghara comes this kind of aroma, okay? And this aroma, I'm not joking, was probably 3,000 years old, okay? And I'm talking about the aroma. What I'm really kind of trying to explain to you is that, flavor is, like you very rightly said, everything that we kind of interact with in life, all right? Comedy, flavor, it mirrors who we are, all right? It mirrors who we have been. Okay? It reflects a people. Okay? It reflects a nation. It reflects history, all right, geography, culture, and now and religion. In fact, what I've perceived traveling around our country mostly is that we let religion play with every facet of our lives, much more than we may have kind of needed to. As you all know, even of late, there's been this big debate as well, you know, as to what we should eat, what we shouldn't eat, what we can eat. Truth is, it's food and flavor. What we can and can't eat has been used throughout the ages. Right? It's been used. Can you give me an example of a particular culture? All right, and we're talking about our country itself using a particular kind of food to force its will on society. Anyone? Or to, let's just say, to convert. I'll be more specific. Examples of food being used as a method of religious conversion. Yes?
Jains don't eat non-veg.
Yeah, Jains don't eat non-veg. Okay, but I'm talking about someone comes in, and this is what, like I said, through history. Go back through history. All right. We as a nation have been influenced by two things. Okay, let's take it back. Who can tell me what the original cuisine of our country really is? And by original, I mean we're talking racial here. All right. So I'm talking Dravidian. Okay, I'll give you a hint. The authentic cuisine of India, minus any external influences, would be, yes. Oh, you know, it's amazing. We talk about every other aspect of life, but I think food, being such a nation of food lovers, is something we kind of completely. Actually, I don't know what's happening with food nowadays. We don't really know our roots, but we're surging into the future. When it comes to food and what it says about us and how it really came to be, I'm not sure people can tell me how a butter chicken came to be butter chicken, for that matter. Anyone? Chicken ran through the pile of butter? Yes, possibly. Anyone else? Okay, I'm going back to that. What is our authentic cuisine?
The original earthwise would be hunter-gatherers.
Absolutely. If you go back that far, yes, hunter-gatherers, right? But when we talk about, say, the golden age of our nation, the time of Ayurveda, right? So Ayurvedic cuisine, all right, what he calls sattvic, yes. Cuisine, or I won't use the word flavor anymore, because flavor is, like I said, flavor. What is flavor? Anyone? Flavor. I'm throwing questions. You can just say something. Anyone? What's flavor? What's taste? Taste. ये बहुत बढ़िया टेस्ट करता है सर. ये तो टेस्ट है सर. बताइए. Anyone?
A sensation.
Distinct taste of a particular animal.
But you use the word distinct taste of it. No. Anyone else? Okay. You're there. So taste, so flavor, yes?
A sensation.
A sensation. Correct. In essence, it's the sensory perception of taste. Right? And it depends largely and mostly on our sense of. Right. It is that. It is actually that simple sense of what we call olfactory. Okay? This, right? That allows us to kind of connect in an instant, like I said, to an era, a mom's cooking, a home, that time in our lives, that time of. I mean, we can literally go back to anywhere, right? Like 20 years from now, and that's when I was in college. Okay, for some of you, you'll be like, यार, वो मेरे कॉलेज वाली जो, वो जो कॉलेज के बाहर वो चाय वाली थी ना, वो जो टपोरी थी, उसकी महक आ गई मुझे आज. Like that kind of a thing, right? So it takes you back. So we were on this thing of Ayurveda, all right, and then we get the influences of other elements coming in, all right. I've lived on the coast mostly. I mean, I come from Kashmir, So it's born, from the mountains. We had to leave, like a lot of pundits, right? In 1989, we had to find ourselves a new identity as a family. I studied here. I mean, just college. That's the only thing I did here. But from that point onwards, that side of the country, Mumbai, Goa, Bangalore, Malabar coast. And so I've really been fascinated by how the colonial, not just the colonial, but from the time of the Arabs, right? How India, through its kind of richness of spices, has been able to influence the way the cuisine of the world is doing. All right, we did it, frankly. People brought their culture, their ways, their influences to us, and what we gave them in return were spices, silks, and gems and gold and a lot else. But in essence, like I was saying, does anyone know of the Portuguese influence on our country? Yes? Potatoes, exactly. But there's one that you guys have every morning. I'm sure almost every one of us. Who said bread? Bread. Okay, so it's the Jesuits. The Jesuit monks, the Portuguese Jesuit monks, they brought bread baking to India, basically. All right. It wasn't the Brits. It was the Portuguese. They brought chilies as well. Okay, something that they brought tomatoes. They also brought with them religious conversion. All right, they forced pork. Right, they forced the people of the Konkan belt, who by the way were Saraswats, Brahmins, technically, who come from Kashmir originally. All right, so there's a connect somehow. So like I was saying, going back to where we're all starting at, flavor is a mirror to who we are. Okay, and what I've understood is that you can understand a people through what they eat. All right, what we eat, what we consume, what we like to eat is what we are. If I had to go back right to the very beginning of hunter-gatherer times, I would say, why everyone's kind of drawn to the aroma of roasted meat? Anyone? Roasted meat, barbecue, tandoor. हमें क्यों अच्छा लगता है इतना ज़्यादा? क्यों हम जब we are in this, हम मार्केट से गुजर रहे हैं, हम सड़क से गुजर रहे हैं, वहाँ वो एक कबाब वाला है, उसकी वो महक आ रही है, and we're like, होता है? Does anyone get that? Anyone? Huh? Smoky flavor. Yeah, smoke. We haven't tasted it yet. It's just the aroma, but we're drawn to it. Does anyone? Evolution. Who said evolution? Who said that? Evolution? All right. Tell me how.
Our ancestors were pork and meat hunters, so definitely at that time we used to use fire to cook food, and that aroma and that sensitivity kind of thing got elevated.
Can we have a round of applause, please? Exactly right. Exactly right. No one has been able to kind of I've asked this question a few times to people, and this is the first time someone's actually said that it's in our DNA. It's in our DNA from the times of man roasting meat over a flame, and that aroma is imprinted in us. Yeah? Even those who don't eat meat still like the aroma of it. So, like I was saying, what I've learned through my experience is that, we have to get out there. We can understand the world through politics and diplomacy and literature and comedy and writing and so many other ways, right? And technology today, right? Technology helps us kind of almost voyeuristically look at what we're doing, right? But I think that could be what I've learned another way and an interesting way, and something that is generally kind of kosher still in our country. It used to be, all right? You could go and have a conversation with anyone about, hey, you eat this and I eat that, and in my house we like this and in your house you like that. Things are changing now, sadly. I would say politics should stay out of that, but it probably couldn't, all right? Because I think the most powerful way you can influence people in their daily lives is by telling them what you can and can't consume, right? Because it is, in the end, our identity, right? So whether you eat meat, or you don't eat meat, whether you can eat this, whether you can't eat this, whether it's available, not available, and what it makes you feel about yourself, all right? Am I doing something wrong by eating this? You know, is it offending anyone? I personally think, like I said, a great way of understanding each other is just to understand our food, maybe. Really understand it, really think a little, go back a bit, and, you know, enjoy the process of understanding each other and accepting it, because there's a reason why we are a certain way, right? There's a reason why today we consume X, Y, Z, that we like to cook our food in such and such and such a way, is because of millennia full of history, right? It just didn't come to be like that. Okay. Before I finish, and I think it is almost time to finish, going forward professionally, we create flavors now. We create them differently, all right? Flavor now has gone global, okay? Global cuisine, a marriage of technique, ideas, accessibility, all right? 20 years ago in this country, you wouldn't find a whole lot of things that are now available to you. So I would say a lot of chefs and a lot of cooks and a lot of youngsters, a lot of people looking to take it up professionally or just looking to, you know, wonder as to what's going on with our food nowadays. I would think, yes, we need to go into the future, or like global cuisine, molecular gastronomy, beautiful plating, you know, food porn, all that is brilliant. But we need to kind of first connect with the history of it. Yeah. Identify that culture, know where we were, where we are today, to go where we need to. Yeah. Otherwise, I think it's, to an extent, even dangerous sometimes to play around with something that is so central to our existence. Right? So I hope this talk's been informative and inspiring, and gets you all to kind of get out there and look at flavor and food and what it means to us a little differently. So thank you. Thank you.